Orgeron. Coach O is with us this morning. Coach, thank you so much for getting up with us, hanging out. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Great to be on your show.
Oh, we're happy to have you. We are so happy to talk Joe Burrow. It's such a great story in Ja'Marr Chase. So here we are. You know, Burrow recently said that he owed his entire career to you. What made you take a chance on a redshirt junior transfer?
You know, we're at the point where we needed a quarterback. I had Bill Bush on my staff who told me, he says, Coach, if we get Joe Burrow on our football team, we're going to college football playoffs. I said, well, go get him. And from the beginning, I met Joe. He was the smartest football player I ever met. His work ethic, his integrity, his intangibles, I believed in him from the get-go.
Wow. Coach, let's talk about those intangibles, because I think the defining characteristic of Joe Burrow is not necessarily his accuracy or his arm strength or his escapability. It's his cool. He just exudes cool. Now, sometimes that comes with winning, or as Kevin Wilde just pointed out, sometimes the cool leads to the winning. Was he a guy that before he won the Heisman, before he was a national champion, he already carried himself like he was, or have you seen an evolution to the Joe Burrow that we now know?
I think you're talking about a little bit of both. I think he was very confident in his abilities. But, you know, Joe's very intelligent. He works hard. He's got a strict routine that he does every day, and that exudes his confidence. And I think that it's very, very hard to rattle Joe. I haven't seen Joe rattled in the 2 years that I've known him, and I think that he's going to be very, very productive in the big game because of his coolness.
Coach, when Joe was in the draft, there was a lot of talk about how, he shouldn't go to Cincinnati. Do whatever you have to do not to wind up with the Bengals. It'll ruin your career. Did you think he would be able to go to the Bengals and turn them around immediately or at least eventually? Or did you share some of those concerns like, man, that's not a good situation for him. I hope he winds up somewhere else.
I never worried about it. Joe's a leader. Joe's like the Pied Piper, but I didn't think they would do it this fast. And I do believe the acquisition of Ja'Marr Chase really helped them.
Coach, how do you think Joe is going to deal with the Rams pass rush? When we look at the last year's Super Bowl, Tom Brady, all year last year, Tom Brady was protected. The Bucs, however, were able to get to Mahomes. They had the beat-up offensive line, and the Chiefs' game plan kind of fell apart. So that feels like worst-case scenario. But Joe Burrow got sacked 51 times this year. How does he able to do it, and how do you think he's going to do against that Rams pass rush?
Well, first of all, I don't think that we can think he's going to go throughout the game and not get sacked. I tell you, I'm not coaching, but I go to bed thinking, how are we going to block number 99? I mean, he is so good. And Joe's toughness, his pocket presence, the way he moves up in the pocket, his athletic ability is going to help him. I think the Rams are going to get some pressure. They're going to get some sacks, but we have to eliminate the sack fumbles. We have to eliminate the negative plays so Joe can make some plays down the field.
So let's talk about that for a minute, because for me, that is potentially the biggest difference in the game. Because it's not just 99 Aaron Donald, who is one of the greatest players in NFL history. It's also Leonard Floyd. And then, by the way, Super Bowl MVP Von Miller. So you have all of that to deal with. We saw what the Titans, who have a poor man's version of the Rams D-line, were able to do to Joe. And the Chiefs were not able to take advantage that way. If you said you go to bed thinking about it. If you were coaching this game, what would your plan of attack be to make sure that Joe's not sacked a half dozen times or more? How would you attack it?
Well, you have to slide your protection to number 99. There's no question that he has to be double teamed. And then you have to figure out another way to double team number 40. But when you do that, that's one less guy in the route. So if you can double team those two guys and get one-on-one with Ja'Marr Chase against Jalen Ramsey, then Jamar's got to win. And Jalen's a great player. I think if you can control those rushers and get one-on-one with Jamar, you get a chance.
You talk about all the intangibles, Coach, that make Joe Burrow cool and calm and confident and ready to play in this big game on this big stage. But, like, how much does having Jamar Chase with him this whole year, like, how much is having his guy out there that he knows so well, how much has that factored into his confidence, knowing full well that if all else fails, like, they have that connection there? Talk about that relationship.
Yeah, I think it's a big difference. And you can tell the difference in Joe from this year, from last year to this year. And him and Jamar have a tremendous connection. They had it at LSU. Anytime that Jamar had one-on-one coverage, Joe was going to try to get him the ball. And then again, they have a great connection. I think it all started in the summer when they had to catch 10,000 balls together. They ate dinner together. They worked out together. They got to know each other. And then they got a great time and a great feel against each other. And it looks like that never left.
Coach, we've been hearing a lot of comparisons with Joe to Tom Brady. Do you think those comparisons are fair and accurate?
I think at early part of his stage that he's on his way. Obviously, Tom Brady is one of the greatest players that ever played the game, had a lot of success. I think Joe can achieve those accolades if he keeps on going as the rate he's going. And can he do it? Yes, he can.
Coach, we talk a lot about Joe Burrow's ceiling, right? Like, oh, maybe he's the next Tom Brady. And I'm a Patriots fan, and I was like big on Mac Jones, Alabama guy, being offensive rookie of the year. And then Jamar Chase went for 250 yards against the Chiefs. I was like, oh, well, it looks like he's certainly offensive rookie of the year. But then as the season went on, I'm like, hold on. Is this guy the best wide receiver in the league already? What do you think Jamar's ceiling is? Not this year, but where do you think his ceiling is career? Could he be the best wide receiver in the NFL?
Yes, I think he can. He is unusually gifted. He's a great competitor. You can't get Jamar off the field. And his release at the line of scrimmage is the best I've ever seen. He's very strong with his hands. He's like a defensive lineman on pass rush. He can beat the press. He can go up and catch the ball. The 50-50 ball, he's going to catch.
Coach, I have one more X's and O's question because I want to, kind of really mine this with you being here. You mentioned, about double teaming Von or double teaming Aaron Donald, doing what you can there. You also mentioned Jalen. If you're running the Rams defense and you can deploy Jalen Ramsey, do you deploy him on the number 2 receiver, T. Higgins, and then double chase the whole game, or leave him one-on-one on Chase and then you don't have to double anybody? Because there's 2 schools of thought on that.
Well, I think, first of all, this is my gut feeling, that Jalen Ramsey is going to want to cover Jamar Chase. And if I was coaching the Rams defense, I would say go get it and see how he does. And have confidence that he can do it. But you got to have a pass rush, so Joe has to get rid of the ball quick. But if that doesn't happen, I would and your second choice, put him on T. Higgins and double team Jamar. I think you got to have a plan. You got to switch up your plan throughout the game and give them a different picture.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.